in the Northern Territory.
It's a boat with a story to tell. During World War II, it ferried Australia's elite Z-Force commandos behind enemy lines in the Pacific. And during the same period, it hid in the mangroves as Japanese ships came past and was never spotted. The MV Rush Cutter is a major part of the territory and of Australian history, but its future seems to be slowly sinking. The Rush Cutter recently sank in the Darwin Harbour. And even though it's now out of the water, which is good news, it's not yet out of trouble. Now, Ambrose Palmer is the son of the Rush Cutter's wartime captain and is hoping for an 11th hour miracle. Bro, thanks for joining us this morning. Some people may not be aware of what's happened to the Rush Cutter in recent times. What exactly happened just over a month ago?
Oh, good morning, Lisa. She sank at the moorings in about 20 metres of water, apparently. Since then, she has been recovered by the Ports Authority, by Ports Management, and she's been taken to a ramp over at East Arm and pulled. She's now up on the ground. She's up high and dry. She's still getting wet when the high tide comes in, but she's safe for the time being.
How did she sink, bro?
We're not 100% certain yet. A quick inspection by the ports people said that there was some very soft wood along the line of the keel where the copper plating or the copper sheathing has separated, and obviously probably worms got in, and that has let water into her. Since then, of course, as she fell to the bottom, she's probably done more damage, and now she's pretty well unfloatable at the moment. She's like a sieve.
It's sad that the ship's owner was devastated as well because they were caring for it, they hoped for a good future for it, and then when it sunk, they were told that they had to pay for it to be brought up out of the water, but did not have the money. It's an expensive thing to do. So how did it get to the stage that it was able to be brought up out of the water?
Well, apparently it was being paid for completely by their insurance. They claimed insurance on it, and as far as I know at the moment, it's been inspected by the insurance assessor, and it's in their hands at the moment. So we're hoping that's going to pick up all the costs of recovering her.
And so you're saying now it's sitting, is it on private land?
Yes, it's sitting on land that's owned by Bhagwan, and they need that area apparently, so they've given us until Friday probably to move it. They may negotiate on this, I don't know. But the letter I have is that they would like us to move it before Friday next week.
Have you had a chance to take a look at it up close and personal?
No, I'm in Queensland. I've had a friend of mine who's part of the group trying to save her had a look. And we think we can move her. We think it's only a matter of probably tightening her up a bit with a bit of external timber and then filling her full of plastic floats, so we can probably get her off. But the trouble is we've got nowhere to put her. We need a safe harbour for her to take. I doubt very much of the authorities will let us leave her in the harbour full of plastic balls. So
you're looking for somebody who might want to let her sit in their backyard or somewhere for a little while? Yeah, that's pretty well it too. And somebody else with a crane and a truck to take her there if possible. It needs a pretty big crane. She probably weighs about 50 tonnes. And she'd be over with. But we're not having much luck at the moment, so I'm not too sure what's going to happen. We haven't given up. We're going to try several aspects this week, but time's running out. When you've seen the photos of the conditions it's in now, that it's been underwater for quite some time, how did it make you feel? This is an important piece of history to Australia and the Territory, but also to your family. It makes me feel very sad, actually. When you look at it, most of the damage that's been done is to the superstructure, and that is all, if we rebuilt it, that will all come off anyway. That's just extraneous material. That whole level, from the deck level down, she's not that bad. It's certainly recoverable to use as a static display, which is what my preference would be. Some of the others would like having a floating one, but my preference would be have a static display where she can be an exhibit and a memorial to the 7 commandos who died on her last major voyage at Mushu Island. If that were to happen, then who would be owning the vessel? Would it still be the current owner, Tracy, or would it be given to someone else, in trust of someone else?
Tracy's indicated that she'd be very pleased to hand it over to somebody else who'd look after her. At the moment, the Darwin War Museum are very interested. They have a problem with the amount of land that's available, but they're working on that as well. So we're hoping that it'll be the Darwin War Museum.
So if we look at it now, how it is today, in this situation where it's on private land but only for a limited time, Friday, you need to get it out of there. What's the best case scenario? What are you hoping for?
I'd like somebody to come along with a big low loader and a big crane, lift her up and take her and put her in their own yard where she can be stored safely until we can raise the money through crowdfunding.
Have you had any indication whether this is a possibility, that it's likely that someone will do this, or is this just big dreams?
Just a dream. There's been no indication at all that anybody's prepared to do that.
Bro, I'm sure that must be tough for you as well. I mentioned that this is an important part for your of your family's history. The MV Rush Cutter, the captain was your father.
Yes, it's important for me personally, yes, it is. But I think it's far more important than that as well. She has a very good war record. It's not exceptional, but it's certainly unique in that she worked for the Coast Watchers. Well, she worked for the AIB, in which case she was used for both the Coast Watchers, which were called M Special, and the Commandos were Z Special. She also was used a couple of times with ANGAO, the Australian New Guinea Administration Unit troops. She spent most of her life behind enemy lines, dropping parties off, picking them up, or taking supplies into them, bringing out the sick. So, from that aspect, it's she has an important wartime history, but as well as that, she is the last tangible link to the Coast Watchers. They're a famous group of people whom Admiral Bill Hazley said the Coast Watchers saved Guadalcanal and Guadalcanal saved the Pacific. And she is the last tangible link to that group of men. And I think it's very important from that perspective we try and save her.
Thank you very much for your time, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks very much indeed, Lisa, and all the best with your holiday.
Bro Palmer there, MV Rush Cutter, World War II captain's son, speaking there about the MV Rush Cutter, which at the moment is sitting on private land after spending a number of weeks at the bottom of the Darwin Harbour. Bro and people around him only have till Friday to find a new resting place for the MV Rush Cutter. He said now it's just a bit of a dream, hoping that somebody will come to the rescue. It's currently 10:16. Coming up,